Matt Hyland. Greetings from the United States, and thank you very much for your response video. This is a response video to your response video. I liked it. I watched it twice. There was a part in the very beginning where you said, if I could be 6'2", then I would be 6'2", but I'm not. I'm 6'8". I love that. I don't know why. I so badly wanted you to follow up by saying deep thoughts of Jack Handy. Because it sounds like a Jack Handy quote. But anyways. Believe it or not, I have never actually gotten the comment, you're too tall. I've gotten every other comment that a tall person could possibly get. I'm actually kind of shocked that I've never gotten you're too tall, but I really haven't. I've gotten you're so tall. God, look at you. Look at you. But I've never actually had someone come up to me and say, you're too tall. And I love your response. Too tall for what? For what? I'm pretty sure I would say that exact same thing. What am I too tall for? However, since I have so much time on my hands, I basically knew the minute that you said that what my next YouTube video was going to be about. And it's therefore titled, a lot of time on my hands, Shit That Matt Hyland Is Too Tall For. Ready? First and foremost, Matt Hyland, you are too tall to be inconsiderate regarding people's physical attributes. I'm going to say that one again. Matt Hyland, you are just too tall to be inconsiderate regarding people's physical attributes. I, however, am not, so let's continue. Matt Hyland, you are too tall to ever be asked to be in the front of a picture. The front of a picture, how about? You are too tall to successfully make a trip into a Walmart supercenter. I know this. You will be chased down and bombarded with comments and questions and concerns, all things relating your height. All things. They bring out pitchforks for me when I go, and I'm 6'2". At 6'8", I just don't know. Steer clear of Super Walmart. Stay very far away from Super Walmart. Matt Hyland, you are too tall to take a punch like a short guy. You'll remember it. Short guy probably won't. You're too tall to throw a punch like a short guy. Short guy does nothing but irritate the person that he's punched and then elicits the desire to get, punched back. You'll probably go to jail. Matt Hyland, you're just too tall. You are an unlikely candidate for a crime involving abduction. You are an unlikely candidate to be attacked by a wild animal. Think about these. I mean, literally, turn on the Discovery Channel and just watch. When is it ever the giraffe getting picked off by the pride of lions? Every once in a while you'll see the giraffe get taken down. But it's always the squat, diminutive, the zebras and the gazelles and the people under 5'10". I'm a huge fan of anybody who is tall. And everybody in my life knows that about me. And it's just because it's brought up a lot that everybody's short. Whenever I come across someone who is tall, I immediately feel an understanding with that person. If I'm at the mall or something and I come across someone, usually not so much a guy, but if it's a girl who's 6'2" or something, I know what she's going through. And so we'll give each other this look, and it literally goes like this. It's like the Gomer smile. I know what you're going through. I know. I mean, you're all the way in the United Kingdom. And I know that you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about in this next section titled, Isn't It Irritating? And I know you're going to know what I'm talking about just because you're 6'8". Every tall person knows. Isn't it irritating being taller than the stalls of every public restroom that you go in? Matt Hyland. Because it only goes up to 6 foot, and I'm 6'2" and you're 6'8". And so a short person might question, instant friends or instant enemies with people in the neighboring stalls? But you and I know, don't we? Every tall person knows, isn't it irritating having to explain to all gentlemen who were born before the year 1970 what the weather is like from way up here? Because everybody knows that the troposphere starts at 6 foot, right? The what? Look it up. Every tall person knows, isn't it irritating, trying to cover up with a standard-sized blanket in the middle of winter when it really counts and you're actually cold. A standard-sized blanket. If you are over 6 foot, every tall person over 6 foot, this one actually has a limit. If you are 6 foot and over and you try to cover up, you have to make a choice. You can either throw the blanket over your legs and risk exposure to your upper body, or you can throw the blanket over your upper body and risk exposure to your legs. You have to make a choice, though, because it can't be both. So what do you do naturally? Well, if it's in the winter and you're cold, you throw it over your legs, and then you put a sweater on or a long sleeve shirt. But what happens if you have the urge to stretch? Isn't it irritating stretching in a long sleeve shirt and just watching it literally go to a quarter length sleeved shirt every time? Isn't it irritating? This one, maybe this is just me, but this is something that kind of, I think, pertains only to short people. But any tall person, I think, who has been in cohabitation with a shorter person knows what I'm talking about when I say the cold feet syndrome. Now, being tall, naturally we have poorer circulation than someone who is more compact. And I know my feet are cold all the time. Matt Hyland, I'm pretty sure right now, as you sit here watching this, your feet are ice cold. Am I right? If it's in the dead of winter, you can literally go outside with no shoes on, or socks, or anything on your feet, and not tell a difference. But I had a roommate once who was on the shorter side, and apparently her feet are always warm, but occasionally they'll get cold, and people will talk about their feet being cold. I've never had a discussion like my socks aren't working, and I think it's literally just because we have the poor circulation and they don't. That might pertain only to me, but I've noticed that. Like, short people have, like, the cold feet thing going on, to where if they ever get a bout of cold feet, they have to talk about it. I just can't get my feet warm. My feet are just so cold. Anyway, I got off track. Matt Hyland, you're just too tall. You are too tall to complain about not being able to see things. You are too tall to complain about not being able to reach things. You are too tall, Matt Hyland, to complain about not being tall enough. Aww. Matt Hyland, you are too tall to go your whole life without throwing your back out or your neck. And I'm going to give you some examples because shorter people probably won't know what, like, a core stability issue is. Since our spines are naturally longer than the more compact people's spines, we throw our backs and our necks out all the time. All the time. Here's why. Let's say you're standing in the shower and you have shampoo in your hair. That's the problem. Let's look at the solution. Bend at the waist, throw your back out. When you are over 6 foot and the shower head comes up to here or like here on you, it's an issue. The only thing that I can possibly relate it to, so that a normal sized person knows what I'm talking about, this is a comment that's going to be directed towards the normal audience. Have you ever been in an RV or like a camper of any sort, and they have like the bathroom with the shower, like the super, super tiny bathroom in the RV, where if you were like 11, you would fit comfortably in that shower. That is pretty much what every tall person has to go through in a standard sized shower. I can't even tell you, I'm a chiropractic assistant, so I do get chiropractic care, and I've had to use it multiple times just because of how often I throw my neck out trying to rinse shampoo out of my hair. Or let's say you're standing in the kitchen and you're washing a dish and it's time to rinse it off. That's the problem, okay? And the reason it's an issue is because the sink comes up like mid-thigh, and so what do? You bend at the waist, you throw your back out. Or let's say you're in a small car. Let's say you're in like a mini coupe. Let's say you've actually found yourself wedged somehow in a mini coupe, and you've arrived at your destination. The problem is it's a mini coupe, and it's time to get out. What do? You bend at the waist, you twist, you exit one leg, and you throw your back out. Fortunately for the population, there are people, chiropractors, who can help. I know they have mixed feelings. We're not in here, I promise, like casting spells and making potions, and it's not hocus pocus. We treat avatars, a lot of avatars, who throw their backs out. We're healers. We're healers of the spine. We're like Jesus. Jesus was an avatar. Matt Hyland, you're just so tall. People will make YouTube videos in your honor. You will forever be remembered as that one tall guy. That's exactly how they'll do it. I'll do it with the other hand. Watch. Let's say someone remembers you from high school and they say, "Oh, I went to high school with that guy. What was his name? Is that one tall guy? 1, 2, 3." It's exactly how they do it. That one tall person, 3 snaps. That one 6'8" guy who went into the grocery. What was his? That one tall guy. You're so tall. And of course, cultured women will love you because at 6'8", you will naturally have bigger hands than the average bloke, and you'll be better at all things where bigger hands are a plus. Like playing the piano. I know I can span well over an octave with my gigantic hands, and I'm sure you could do even better. That's it. I can't believe this is like my shortest video. I'm so excited. So I'm going to follow up once again. Thank you for your response video. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed this and weren't offended by anything that I was going on about. One last thing. You might be tall, but I could still beat you up.